In this week's Torah portion, Jacob and Rebekah team up to trick Isaac out of the blessing intended for Esau the firstborn. Isaac was blind. He sent Esau off to hunt for a delicacy. And in the meantime, Rebekah prepared a delicacy at home and dressed Jacob with the furs so that his arms would feel as hairy as Esau. Isaac seemed a little confused. He says, "The voice is the voice of Jacob, but the hands are the hands of Esau." But he blesses him anyways. That's the simple, basic version of the story. There's lots of questions. Was Isaac totally out of touch? Was he so oblivious to the reality to think that the wicked Esau deserved the blessing more than Jacob did? Now, we know from the text that Isaac was suspicious. Just before blessing Jacob, he observed, "The voice is the voice of Jacob, but the hands are the hands of Esau." If he suspected something was amiss, why did he go ahead and bless him? Another strange aspect of the story is the actual content of the blessing. Take a look at the blessing that Jacob stole. It's a blessing for prosperity, a blessing for power. It speaks of grain and dew, and then skip to the end of the Torah portion, where Isaac blesses Jacob before he runs away from home. That blessing is much more appropriate. It's much more Jacob-like. That blessing includes the heritage of Abraham and the promise of the land of Israel. That's more like it. It seems like Isaac had planned a spiritual blessing for Jacob and a physical blessing for Esau. So why did Jacob have to go and steal Esau's physical blessing? So Kabbalah offers an explanation that delves deeper than the simple literal meaning. A rich and beautiful interpretation that's relevant and applicable to our lives today. Tanya 27 explains that the meaning of Jacob's request, "Make me delicacies so that I may bless you," is more than what Isaac told Esau a few thousand years ago. This is a continuous call and charge of the divine presence to all of us. God enjoys two types of delicacies. That's why the verse refers to it in the plural. Number one, God likes sweet foods that taste good from the start. A piece of cake, fresh fruit, candy. And number two, sharp and spicy fruits that when properly prepared are delicious to a more mature palate. Think pickle or hot sauce. This isn't just about food, actually. It's a metaphor for two ways that we can serve God. The first is with things like tefillin or Torah study, which is straight up good and holy. The second is with things that involve challenge and effort. They have some kick and tang and zest to them. God wants both. In the language of Kabbalah, it's the difference between iskafia and isabcha. The struggle of the Beinoni, of the intermediate, versus the soaring spiritual heights of the tzaddik, of the righteous person. Isaac figured that Jacob was the spiritual type, studying Torah all day, sitting in the tent. He couldn't see Jacob making the spicy, zesty challenge type of pleasure for God. So Isaac thought he'd give Jacob the spiritual blessing, but give Esau the physical one. He hoped that Esau would be up to the challenge to bring godliness to his physical world, to create that sharp, spicy type of pleasure for God, the one with a kick. Rebekah saw it differently. She knew Esau wouldn't utilize the physical blessing towards the godly end. She realized that Jacob had another side to him. By dressing him in fur, she demonstrated that Jacob can be both the voice of Jacob and the hands of Esau. She saw his ability to prepare and produce both types of delicacies for God. When Isaac saw that, he went ahead and gave him the physical blessing too. Remember the mission. Remember the mission. Our task is to make both types of delicacies in our daily lives from which God derives pleasure: the physical and the spiritual. Shabbat Shalom. Hi there. I just wanted to let you know that I just launched a brand new website. It's theloverabbi.com, TheLoverabbi.com, theloverabbi.com. And it has lots of very interesting things there. Especially, you can purchase a lot of the different classes and lectures that I have given over the past few years. And you can also take a look at the current classes and lectures that I'm giving and the current events that I am doing on relationships. So I encourage you to go check it out. It's theloverabbi.com. Thanks so much.